Hello, this is a video about how to set up your budgeting spreadsheet when you're the TD of a show. So first thing, you need to download a copy of the spreadsheet. Well, you're not actually downloading it, you're just making a copy and putting it on your Google Drive. Ideally, this will get saved into your Google Drive folder that you will make. So you go here, you click on it, you view, it'll prompt you to copy. You say make a copy. Go ahead and name it the title of your show and budget or something like that. The first place you want to go is to production info. Update all of this information, including date first version is due and all of that. Otherwise, nothing will populate into a lot of those fields. Let's say that the show is show 1, show title, etc. All of the things. Is this technically absolutely necessary? No, but it does make everything look nicer. Update this. So typically you're going to have a week from the time that the design presentation happens to the time that you need to have your first version due. That's the date that goes into this tab. And then ideally we've got a second version coming in perhaps about a week later, so that by the time we're getting close to final design, we have a really good idea of what things are going to cost. This is where you will tell the spreadsheet which version of the budget pass you're on so that it can put a date into this. And then here, the initials of everybody on your team. Contingency percentage, typically we're going to use 20. I should probably change that on the thing. And for now, we're not going to include a hardware allotment on each individual sheet. So this 20% is covering what we would need as contingency for purchasing hardware. Finally, you need to put in the amount of money you're planning on spending on this show, or that Josh has told you can spend on this show. Once you're done with that, move on with your life. Let's have a gander here. This is your cover sheet. There is nothing that you need to change on your cover sheet. It should automatically populate. If we had a date in here, this would pull that, in the budget passes, it would pull that date right there, but it doesn't. So here we are. Let's go to the unit sheets. Well, let's go to material sheet first. On your material sheet, you will need to navigate to the shop inventory that Colin updates regularly. Let's go back to Basecamp to do that. I'm going to go to technical, nope, I'm going to go to home. I'm going to go to scene shop. I'm going to go to inventory folder. I'm going to open this, and you can see that this was updated but 6 days ago. I'm going to copy this whole thing. Control C. I'm going to go right there. Control V. We are updated. I would also update this date so that you know that you did it. Lovely. On each individual unit, you don't have to do anything special. Just make sure that it's there. Of note, these unit sheets are not protected in the same way that everything else is for now. We might do that later. The first one is because that's the one that I copied everything else off of, but as you make subsequent unit sheets, they will not have the same right protections that warn you if you're about to change something that has a function in it. So do be careful. As you add in unit sheets, you're going to manually add in the unit number in this column. Once that happens, you shouldn't really have to do anything relative to this sheet. This should automatically populate as you go. Make sure though that when you have numbers, they're all going to pop up here. When you've started adding things in, make sure that these are in fact the numbers that are being pulled on your summary sheet. Basically, pay attention. Information down here will be pulled from the labor sheet, which is here. You should go through, update the months or the days, the weeks. If you are working in a week 0, like let's say that you have a bunch of CNCing to do and there's nothing happening on the CNC, and you have the labor to do it in the week before your official build week starts, great, put it there. If you don't want to show a week 0, don't show a week 0. You've got 5 columns here in which you can put whatever you want. But do update the dates. The number of people that you have working for you. Let's say that you have 3 carpenters. You can just put carpenter 1, carpenter, etc. Carpenter 1, carpenter 2, carpenter 3. You could also put in real names. Doesn't really matter, as long as you're accounting for their time. We know that they work 20 hours a week, and you can manually enter that. Thusly, if you know that you have a week where we have a holiday, let's say it's Martin Luther King Day on Monday, and we're not planning on working, you would take that into account in this calendar, unless you've had a discussion with Josh and he says, to make up for that, we're going to have a Friday call or whatever. This is a thing that should be done in conjunction with your production manager pretty much always. For load-in, you have a little bit of a different situation where you have the entire technical production students, everybody working for you. So that can be placed in there. If you are including Hunter, Cole, and Angus in TP students or whatever, then include them. And if not, don't. For your load-in, you have that Saturday, 9 to midnight call potential. So that's 12, 15 hours, but you should have a lunch and a dinner break in there. So let's say 14. I'm probably missing something. But it's 14 times the number of students in the program, so that's actually 140, something like that. Do pay attention. If you're including yourself in that, maybe don't. Maybe that's actually more like 140 minus, whatever. Just don't accidentally account for 2 people. Do keep in mind that at load-in, the TD shouldn't be counted as labor. The TD is not physically doing things. They might be an extra set of hands every once in a while. You're not installing your own show. You're managing the install of your show. So this shouldn't be the number of students times the length of the call. This is something else. Make sure you got it right. Cool. You're welcome to use this labor category section or not. It doesn't really, it's there to help tally things. It doesn't necessarily give you information that you wouldn't get somewhere else. It's a way that I like to be specific and manage that information, but it's up to you. You will notice then that this all populates into here, except when it doesn't. That's interesting. I'll fix that. That fixed it. That was weird. I'll fix that. Okay. Once you start adding stuff into here, this should start to fill up and populate. This will automatically generate a spreadsheet, and this column will be the total relative to the amount of money that you have. So this is the sum of everything shown relative to total budget. This is how much each unit costs relative to everything. So there's that. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have questions.